Hey everyone, got a question for you this week to start off with. Do you have problems attracting new clients to your law firm? Have you ever looked on Facebook, a few days after somebody's asked for a recommendation on Facebook for a lawyer in an area of practice that you're an expert in, only to find that one of your clients actually recommended someone else? Ooh, that's got to sting, right? And you're like, why did they do that, right? Why didn't they recommend me? I've helped them in this area. Um, do you kind of feel like your website is a great big waste of money? Well, it's a real problem for a lot of law firms. And the great news, I've got an expert here today, Mike Brown, right here. Mike, wave hi to everyone. He is an expert in internet marketing. He is with FindLaw, Thomson Reuters, and Superlaw. Before we get to Mike, real quick, he's going to set you on a path, by the way, to getting more out of your internet dollar, your internet marketing dollar. All right. But this is No Law Firm Left Behind, and I'm Jim Gast, and I'm your host. And here on No Law Firm Left Behind, our job is to absolutely help your law firm be more competitive. That's what we're here for today. Help your staff and attorneys be more productive, ultimately in an effort to help you get and keep more clients, right? That's all the reason we're here. So if you like this show, if you find the information valuable, please make a comment, subscribe to our YouTube, go to our LinkedIn page and actually join the LinkedIn called No Law Firm Left Behind group. But let's get right started with it. Mike, how you doing?
I'm great, Jimmy. How are you?
Man, I love that you call me Jimmy, by the way. Not
Listen,
enough people call me Jimmy in my life. And that is such an honor and a privilege that you do that for me, because it means
I say that because you are a real guy. You
Oh,
are
thank you, brother. Thank you.
you're everyone's IT guy, and
Wow.
if anybody says, "Hey, do you know a guy?" It's Jimmy Gast.
Well, thanks, and I'll give you $20 for that one later. More importantly, let's talk about you. I heard from somebody that you're getting a special honor here coming up. You want to tell me about that? Tell everybody about that honor?
Yeah, the Northern Kentucky Bar Association, and they are honoring me as Volunteer of the Year for 2021. So I'm very excited about that. It's the
You
first time
know,
they've given it to a non-lawyer, and uh, they are near and dear to my heart. The lawyers in Northern Kentucky are awesome. It's a great community of people, and I will give a plug to any lawyer watching this webcast.
we're
If
listening,
you're
by the
not
way.
a
We publish
member
the
of your
podcast.
local bar association, please join your local bar association. That's one of the
Yeah.
best ways to network and get and give referrals. So,
On
there's my
that
plug.
note, Mike, nobody taught me how to build a business. There's no school or class on how to build a business, right?
Right.
There's nothing out there, and lawyers don't get enough training in that. It is the bar associations and those
Yeah.
connections you get with those people in your bar associations that help you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't plug the Cincinnati Bar Association, Northern Kentucky Bar Association. I cannot plug them enough. As a matter of fact, I don't do it enough. Right. And so I vow to start doing it religiously.
It's one of the best ways to to take a shortcut to success.
Yep.
And
You
the
got
other
it.
thing I would say is that lawyers tend to work on an island. They tend to be alone out there, especially solo firms, and they work in their own silo. And it can be very difficult if you're not tethered to other lawyers, and if you're not networking and being a part of an organization
You got it.
like your local bar association. So
You got
join
it.
your
You
local
got it.
bar association. It's a shortcut to success.
You know it. Well, let's get to what we're here to talk about, okay? So I put together a series of questions that I really want to hit on, okay? And so let's just not waste any time. So here I am. I'm a lawyer, and I'm not getting enough clients, right? But somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, you need to market more. You need to do more electronic marketing, internet marketing, and so on and so forth." But I'm a lawyer, and I get most of my clients from referrals. Why do I need to be worried about being online? Why should I waste my time?
Jimmy, I'm glad you asked that question because can you see
Uh-oh.
this? Can we
Let's get
see
that
that?
big screen for you, brother.
Yeah, read what that says,
Up,
Jim.
up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Up, 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 up. Right there it is, brother. It says COVID-19 is the meteorite that hit the earth and will wipe out the dinosaurs
Okay,
by
so
FindLaw.
for all of you lawyers out there, that say that your business is all referral, you don't need to do any marketing, guess what? That slide is talking to you, because post-COVID, even if your business is referral, they're coming to look you up online and make decisions about who they're going to hire. And by the way, referrals just means you made the short list. There's 2 other people on the referral list. Nobody talks to just one person to get advice. They get a name and move on. They get 2 or 3 names. Even I give 2 or 3 names when somebody asks who they should use as an attorney. So they're going to look you up. Today in 2021, post-COVID, I have to feel like I'm visiting your office, okay? So I need to feel like I'm in your office and I feel good about your firm, good about your brand. Here's another one, Jim. Are you ready?
Got it. Big screen. Your
See that?
online presence is your only presence.
Yeah,
Your
guess what,
offline-
Jim?
What's
A
that,
lot of
babe?
the people that get referral business look like the Mercedes in person. They look like the Oldsmobile Studebaker on the
A
left.
little bit. Yeah, you
online.
got it. You got it. You got it.
So the message, the real message here is be ready. It's 2022 in a month and a half. You need to make sure that your brand looks as good online as it does when they come into your office.
Mike, I'm
And
going to say this about referrals. Once you give that referral, what do you think the first thing people are going to do with that referral? Think they're going to pick up the phone and call?
no, absolutely not. And
Let's go look
even
them up.
even if it's the only one,
Gonna go
right?
look
Even
them
if
up.
it's the only name they got, they're still going to look you up out of courtesy. They don't want to
got
look you up cold.
You
You
got
would
it.
never go on a job
Nope.
interview without looking up the person who's the hiring manager
A
or
referral
reading
is
the
really a
job
referral.
description.
A referral is only a referral to look you up online. That's all
Right.
it is.
So
All right, here we
referral
go.
gives you a name.
You got it.
When
All
I
right.
look at the data of my clients, the direct traffic to their websites this past year has doubled the previous years, because people are looking them up and making decisions while they're online instead of going into their office. It's
That's right.
post-COVID.
That's
So
it.
we have to get with it.
All right, here's another one, okay? I spend a lot of money on SEO. Why do our other websites higher in the rankings? I mean, I spend a lot of money on SEO. I spend $200 a month on SEO.
Okay, so I've always been kind of a subscriber to rank stinks. The whole word rank means disgusting. Why do you want to rank for terms? If I'm a quality law firm and I provide a high quality service, if I find you doing a rank search of Divorce Lawyer Cincinnati, am I going to find the business owner that has a lot of complicated moving parts in their divorce and has lots of property and assets? Or am I going to find somebody who is looking for $1,000 dissolution? I mean, rank is not going to zero you in to the client that you are really looking to get, right? I think you need to decide who is your ideal client. When most people out there, a lot of firms don't have a strategy. They have a website, they do a few marketing or advertising things without a real purpose. You need to start over. All right. Start from scratch. Look at your website. Does it really capture your brand? Does it capture who you really are? Does it tell your story? Half of you should read your websites out there out loud. And if it was written by somebody who was really doing SEO content, it doesn't read for you. It reads for Google. Make sure you tell your story. Make sure you have a good brand. Make sure that you have good, current, up-to-date pictures. Make sure that your bio on your website, that is the #1 most visited page after the homepage, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got to tell your story and have somebody tell your story. If you're not doing it, tell the story of the firm. Why'd you become a lawyer? What drove you to go to law school and become a lawyer in the area of law you practice?
People want to hear
Tell
about
your
you.
story.
Now, Mike, I've got a strategy here. Okay, I'm a lawyer. I'm sitting here, and I'm spending money on Google pay per clicks, but it ain't paying off for me. Why could that be?
So you're a lawyer. I mean, the first part of that comment was, I'm a lawyer, right? I'm not a lawyer marketer. I'm a lawyer, right? You don't see me, looking up statutes and regulations and case law to do my own will. You're a lawyer. If you're doing your own pay-per-click, you're competing with other people that have professionals or that have a bigger budget. You may or may not be buying the right keywords or phrases? Are you using the LSA program where you pay by the phone call, the lead certification program through Google? There's a number of strategies. But the other part of that question, Jim, is Google AdWords is part of an overall strategy, right?
Dang.
A lot of people think, Google AdWords doing pay-per-click is a strategy, but it's a component of a strategy. Again, this is 2022.
Up,
There's a
bring it
lot
up,
of
bring it up
moving
higher,
parts.
higher, 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 higher. There you go, right there.
There's a lot of moving parts to a marketing strategy in 2022. So you've got to think about the fact that you've got search engine optimization for your website. You need content, blogging, social media, directories from other, legal directories actually validate who you are. So you need to be in a lot of these different components. There's an audience behind each one of these things.
Mike, show that up. Hold it at eye level, at your eye level real quick again. Real quick. At your eye level, okay? Look, I count up your eye level, higher, up to your eyes. There you go, right there. I count, let's see, 7, 8, 9. I count a lot of bubbles there, right?
Right.
I think one of the questions, and Mike, I want to put a screenshot of that in the comments later on, okay? You can take it down. I want to put a screenshot of it in the comments later on because honestly, that's what people should be doing right there. Is all of those bubbles, and we should question which of these am I not doing, and can I basically fill in the bubble? All right, Mike. Next question. Right. Does my law firm really need to be on social media, Mike?
You do. Again, it's the reason you need to be on social media is two things. Number one, your website is where people go to see you in a tie and all dressed up, and these are the services we have and we can sell you. But they come to your social media to feel you. They come there to feel the personality of the firm, to connect with the firm on a deeper level than just what area of law you do and where you went to law school. They want to see the firm as a part of the community. But the number one thing they want to see is, who do you know that I know? If I come to your LinkedIn page, or like Jim, when I visit your LinkedIn page, you and I have 250 people in common. If I actually didn't know you, I would be questioning why we haven't had a beer and played golf together at this point.
That's because
I
don't
come
drink.
To your Facebook page and Facebook shows me that 20 of my friends like your firm, that makes me feel comfortable that we're connected, right? It's going to help you win your referrals as much as win the new business of people who don't know you but need what you do.
Sideline question on this one. We didn't talk about this at all. Okay. Real quick.
Right.
My personal Facebook profile. Should I use it for my marketing, for my law firm, for my legal services?
Yes, absolutely. It's hard to differentiate your personal life from your professional life, right?
Yeah.
And especially as a solo practitioner, there's a crossover there. You really should be mingling. And even if you have a professional Facebook page for the firm, share that content on your personal, right? Yeah. So take that content and share it, because on your Facebook page, if you put a blog post that you're really proud of, that you took a lot of time on, you put it on your firm's Facebook page, Facebook's only going to show a few of your of the people that like your page. They're only going to show it to a few of them unless you pay money to get it out to your whole audience. If you share it to your personal page, that's a freebie. All 2,500 people who think of you like Grater's Ice Cream or Skyline Chili are going to get to see it.
Another thing, and again, I'm going to move on to the next question, which is related. Ask people to go like your page. Right. Ask them. Go like my page. Right.
Go like my page. It's a very simple thing.
Why would we be afraid to ask people to like our page? Right.
Right. You should promote that anytime you can.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Especially, I will say this too, Jim. Most firms, whether it's a solo or a small firm, they are involved in some charitable work, especially around the holidays. I strongly recommend you ask for a mention on their social media with a link back to your page, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you very much to James Gast and his team at SpliceNet for buying all the turkeys for Thanksgiving or sponsoring our, whatever, right? So
Right.
it is time for the charities to mention you. I personally MC a lot of charity events, right? I don't charge anything for it. I do it because I have a gold jacket and it's the right thing to do.
The gold jacket. Got to
But
get
a
you
lot of them will
wear it on
post
the show
a
next month, by the way.
What's that?
Wear it on the show next month.
Oh, absolutely, I will. But a lot of the charities will post a picture and thank me personally and tag me in the picture. And it goes a long way because people see that you're involved in the community and all those things.
You know what? I'd like to go to this question and then I'm going to backtrack. Online reviews. Is it really important?
It's critical. I mean, it's absolutely critical. People don't, buy washing detergent without checking online reviews. Online reviews are critical for law firms. And there are a lot of great law firms out there that have practiced for 40 years and they're on the third generation of attorney and doing good work is their standard. That's their currency of the firm. And it's not enough today because if I'm somebody who's coming to you online and I'm looking you up and I'm really vetting you the way you would vet a jury member in a trial, I need to see these reviews. I need to see how people felt and what their opinion was of your law firm, right? Yeah. So you've got to ask reviews. It should be part of the closing process. When you are closing out a client matter, you should be sending a link to either your Google business page, your Facebook page. You should be sending it to any place that has the ability to leave a review. The Find Law directory has a place for reviews. Yelp does, right? So look at these places, these properties online, and send a link to the one that needs more reviews, right? Maybe you've got plenty of reviews on Google business page, but you've got a negative review on your Facebook page. Send a link to the Facebook page. Call in your
Don't forget them on your website. Don't forget them on your website. Those are the long form ones on your website. The longer form ones can be on your website.
Yeah, and the ones on your website, those aren't really reviews. Those are more like testimonials.
Testimonials, right?
There's a difference between a review and a testimonial. The testimonials are the cards that come to you around the holiday from clients where you saved their lives, right?
Yep.
And by the way, you should call those clients and ask if they mind if you transcribe that into a testimonial for your website. But a review is something that is actually left at the property, whether it's Google business page, Facebook, Yelp, LinkedIn, somewhere, an endorsement, that kind of stuff.
You got it.
But
let me ask you about blogging. Do we really need to blog? And how often, if we need to do blogging, should we do blogging? And where should we do it?
Very important.
Where should we do it also? Where, too, by the way?
So blogging is important for several reasons. Number one, blogging demonstrates the firm's thought leadership. And it's one thing to actually practice an area of law. Let's say it's business law or divorce law or injury law, whatever the area of law is. If I come to your site and I see these areas of law that you will charge me a rate to do for me, but if I see a blog and I click on it, I see you write about these topics. That's impressive. You're sharing information. The same way that you and I are sharing information right now to the LinkedIn audience. I'm sharing information that somebody might normally pay for, but we're sharing it because we want people to know what they need to know. And whether they do it themselves or hire you to do it or me to do it, that's up to them. But the same thing with attorneys. They're going to share information through a blog post. And I suggest taking a hot case that's being talked about in the press and tell people what you think or what your thoughts are, what the issues are that are being considered. So number one, put the blog on your website. Number two, share that link to that blog on LinkedIn or on your social media, on Facebook, because then people will see it. You want to expose people and it'll bring them back to your website. The third benefit of that is it's more content for your website, and voice search is now 25% of the way people search. They say, hey, Alexa, I'm not saying SIRI because I don't want her to start.
Yeah.
But, hey, Alexa, do I need an attorney to file a will, to create a will? And maybe if you have a blog post that says, do I need an attorney to create a will? They'll find that content and bring it back and say, hey, I found something at, Jim Gass's website on creating a will.
That's where that SEO comes into play. That's how you get that bang for the buck out of the SEOs. More content out there with those words and those answering the questions that people are going to ask. And,
Yeah.
and cadence on blog, what do you have an idea on a cadence on a blog?
And what do you mean by cadence?
How often should we be blogging?
Blogging is optimal. Once a week, I think, is a good frequency.
Once a month minimum.
Once a month is the minimum. The one thing that's painful is when you open up a blog and it says Happy Thanksgiving 2018. A lot of people missed an opportunity to communicate with their clients this past year during COVID. Were they open? How are they doing business? What were the new procedures of the firm? Virtual conference calling, or coming in with a mask, distancing, or were they not open at all? Like, a lot of people missed that. Or a lot of people miss sharing information about how the courts are the courts doing their proceedings during COVID, right? Mm-hmm. So blogging can help people stay informed and learn about what's going on with the firm.
You got it. All right. Let's see here. My favorite one, video.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Video. How important is a video on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on a website, on YouTube, so, live and recorded for that matter?
It's critical. It's all critical now.
I agree.
2022, Jim.
I agree. That's why we're here.
Listen, there's a reason that Google bought YouTube many years ago, because video is so it's consumed at the highest rate of any other platform online. Is people love video. TikTok is hugely successful. Why? Because of video. Instagram, there's a lot of video. All the social medias have now the streaming story, right? It's all around video. The one thing about video is it's hard to fake video. You can't really do it, right? You can write content all day long to make you look like an amazing attorney and, decorated war hero. But video you can't fake unless you get a stunt double, and even then you have to denote it, not the actual attorney. So video is one of those authentic mediums where people can see you, feel you, hear your experience, hear your confidence, and really connect with you on a deep level. Video is critical, and not just one video. Do a video on every topic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We do these live streams every week. And then listen, people don't realize this, but the miles you can get out of video content are just incredible. Think about this video right here, right? This right here, we'll snip it down to different snippets and we'll reuse the snippets. We'll take the dialogue that we Mike and I had, okay, and we'll turn it into a blog post. We'll turn it into a snippet post. We'll turn it into an audiogram. We'll turn it into a podcast, right, and get it on all the podcast platforms, right? Pandora, iHeartRadio, so people can listen to it later. You can get a lot of miles out of video, and it's actually pretty well favored on your SEO because Google owns YouTube.
Right. And by the way, you won't be doing all that without my express written consent, will you?
Not your express written consent, actually. Wait, didn't we send a waiver beforehand? Yeah. Anybody know a good lawyer for a waiver? Just kidding.
Here, I'm a waiver.
Listen, Mike, this has been an incredible time. I always love talking to you. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, what do they do?
Connect with me on LinkedIn. Michael Brown at Thomson Reuters FindLaw. You can find me on at CincinnatiLawyerMarketing.com. But really, I would love it if they would connect with me on LinkedIn. Hey, Jim, can I give some bullet points that I think are really important?
Go for it, brother. I'm going to full screen you right here.
Okay, so I want to remind people that it is 2022, and it's really critically important to take your brand seriously. Even as a solo law firm, you should have a brand, have a logo, have a current website. Make sure that it is mobile friendly. Make sure that you tell your story. You want to make sure your website is modern, your mobile. Make sure the mobile version of your site is absolutely up to date. current pictures, detailed bio, awards, all your awards. I should see everything. Blogs, social media, legal directories, charitable. All these things are critically important. Don't forget this as well. You can right now is the time to raise your rates if you haven't done that. There's inflation everywhere. This is a freebie. Raise your rates. Time is the only thing that you have to sell, and you need to make sure you're keeping up and increasing your own revenue. Have a Zoom room set up when you do virtual meetings or virtual court hearings. Join your local bar association, and remember, of all the other things we've talked about, customer service at your firm is one of the key things that you're going to be judged on going forward. People are really fanatical about customer service. People need to have a Nordstrom's experience or an Amazon experience when they come to your firm. It is so important that everybody in your firm that answers the phone or touches a client anyway, that they're having a great experience.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Let me tell you on that last one, and we'll end the show. I recommend anybody that answers the phone, smile when they do it because you'll be in a better mood. Hello, this is Jim Gass with law firm such and such. How can I help you? It will improve immensely. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Listen, I'm Jim Gast, and this is No Law Firm Left Behind. Again, we have a great group on LinkedIn. You can find it here. I'm sorry for the ugly URL. We are pushing LinkedIn to give us vanity URL so it can be prettier than 123833419. But if you go search for No Law Firm Left Behind on LinkedIn or any Google platform, you'll find our podcast. You'll find all of our outlets, especially go join our LinkedIn group. Please, please, please. If you're looking for our podcast, you can go Linktree, which is a great thing for law firms to have for all of your different media outlets. And you can direct people there in your marketing. Linktree is with a dot between the EE/SpliceNet. So you can grab all of our podcasts there. Plus, you can find it just naturally on Pandora, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're just about on every podcast platform. Mike, thanks again for joining us. I really appreciate it. Everyone else really appreciates it as well. Make your comments and your questions, and we'll talk to you really soon, Mike.
Thanks a lot. I hope everybody has a great rest of 2021 and a great beginning to 2022.
You bet, my friend. Take care. Sit tight, Mike.